is the night, people will finally realise what I'm about and what I can do, and what I've been saying and preaching all them years is finally going to come out in the night.
This is his moment. This is where people's going to see how good Aaron McKenna really is. Aaron is the best middleweight in the world, and he'll take out any of them.
How's the
100%.
form anyway, lads? He's keeping well.
Keeping well, yeah, all going well. Aaron's ready now, so
Ready
not
to
long to
rock,
go.
ready to rock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it. Not long, now less than 2 weeks, so just really excited to get in there.
Look, you've been busy enough the last 2 weeks. He's been out, he's in LA, he's been in Vegas, he's over in Sparring in England then during the week.
Yeah, we were in Vegas for 4.5 weeks, and then we came home for a week, and then went off to the UK for the last 2 weeks of training, and then now we're just back home tapering into it, getting sharper and getting the timing right for the fight.
Just go back to the start of this for the 2 years. I suppose, was it always going to be boxing for the pair of yous?
Well, we first actually started out in karate. My dad, he ran a karate school. I was about five, I think. Aaron would have been four or five. We were very young. When we first went into karate, he had the school in Monaghan, and we did it for 2 years, 2 3 years. But I never really took to it. I always found it boring. More so because we are always action. We love fighting. We love
He's
watching
wanted something more
WWE.
violent, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, we wanted something physical, so we went down and joined the local boxing club. I was seven, eight, and Aaron was 6, and then we just fell in love with the game really. From the first day, just always been boxing, and ever since. That's all we did.
I suppose that gym you started out in, that's the same gym that Barry McGuigan started out in as well, isn't it?
That's it, yeah, and Kevin McBride as well. So that was our first and only gym, our local club. So, and then my dad he created this gym here. We're in here at the minute, at the back of the house. So we built on it over the years. We slowly added things. First, there was no ring here, and then we added the ring. We added bit by bit, and it's just been so handy to have everything here right at the back door.
When you went pro, like, it must have been a big shock going over to America when you did. Like, it's a big step. It's a world away from where you are from in Monaghan. Like,
yeah, well, it's a lot more different over in LA. Aaron went over when he was only 16. Can you imagine going over as a young 16-year-old coming from the amateurs, and he was straight in sparring world champions, Jesse Magdaleno, sparring guys like that. But we were used to that sort of stuff. Like when we were coming through in the amateurs, we did any amount of sparring. I remember we used to travel down to Kildare, to Dominic O'Rourke's club in Athy. We used to travel down three days a week, and it would take us 4 hours, in the car, or 3 hours getting there, and then 3 hours back. This is after school, so get picked up from school, head down to Athy, go in. We used to spar 10 rounds, and then jump in the car, get home. We used to do that 3 days a week. So over the years of training and fighting, we used to fight, every week. Every weekend we'd be fighting in the amateurs, fighting a Friday and a Saturday some days, sometimes 3 times, we had over, up in 200 fights, each, overall in exhibitions and that. But it was years of consistency, that built for that moment. The minute you went over to America, that you had to adapt and change things really quick from your amateur style and really, change your game.
how was life out there? You obviously had a couple of fights out there. You've moved back. Did COVID impact things over there a bit as well?
Yeah, it was COVID was the main reason why we went home, the lockdowns and that. But yeah, it was brilliant over there. We spent nearly 4 years out there. I had my first 10 pro fights. Stephen was first 4 or 5.
First 4, yeah.
So we picked up very good experience while we were out there, and we knew, if you want to make to the very top of this sport, these are the sacrifices you need to make. And we knew by going over to America, all the stuff we'd pick up and learn is what we needed, and it was brilliant. All the gyms we've travelled to, we trained with Freddie Roach for a year, we trained with Robert Garcia for a year, travelled all over Mexico, Vegas, California, and picked up as much information as we could along the way. And now it's just all about really proving it.
Pros now as well, like you can go back there. You obviously have great contacts out there. You can go back there now. You can train there, do a bit of training at home, do a bit of training in England. Like you can mix it all up. Like
That's it. Yeah, we're not locked down in the one spot. So say other fighters, they have a gym where they can't really go outside their own gym. For us, we travel everywhere. We go to America, Mexico, England, get the best quality work we can. We've been over to Las Vegas. That's the spot that we think's the best place for boxing right now. At the Top Rank gym. We've had a great training camp for Aaron. Aaron's been sparring. He's been getting top quality sparring, and that's what we like to do. So for our first phase of the training camp, we head over to America, and then we finish it in the UK, and then we're back here for the final 2 weeks, and then for fight night.
there's been challenges along the way. I remember speaking to you in Liverpool, and literally as I spoke to you, your opponent was after pulling out. Whatever it was, 2 days before the fight, you've no opponent. This has happened to you an awful lot as well, hasn't it? You've had these sort of late changes, and it's been far from smooth sailing, let's say.
Yeah, well, it's been happening to me right from the very first day when I was supposed to make my pro debut in Madison Square Garden, the big arena. I was supposed to be the youngest ever to ever fight there, and then just the night before the fight, it got cancelled. So that was a tough pill to swallow. That so I'm well used to it now, and then it just happened more and more regularly. But it's the sport of boxing. These things happen, and you just have to get used to it and not let it affect you. And I always don't let it distract me, and just the focus remains the same. Whatever opponent to get then on the night, then that's all I'm really focused on. But yeah, I'm fortunate now that I think I'm at a level now where I get plenty of notice, and these big fights are happening, and this is the perfect stage to do it now in front of a massive audience in the UK, Ireland, and the world.
Absolutely. And just the other thing, obviously, that prize fighter tournament, you had a big win on that, and then that just stopped as well. That would have been a big blow to you at the time, I'd imagine, as well.
Yeah, that was a massive blow considering how much money it was. $1 million for the winner, and I was the favourite to win it out. And then the knockout bonuses as well. I was looking forward to picking up 2 more knockout bonuses and getting that extra bit of money. But again, I don't really let it, annoy me or distract my goal, which is becoming world champion.
Look, I suppose we move on to what is coming up now in a couple of weeks. Liam Smith at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Brilliant fight for you.
Yeah, massive opportunity against a very good name as well. Liam Smith, he's former world champion. Been in with the likes of Canelo, Munguia, Chris Eubank. Comes from a well-respected family, reminds us of ourselves. It's a massive fight to get in a huge platform, and on the night, I think it's going to be holding close to 70,000 people. There's going to be some feeling, walking out to that many people watching you. But yeah, I'm ready for it now, and I think this is the night, people will finally realise what I'm about and what I can do, and what I've been saying and preaching all them years is finally going to come out in the night.
What are you expecting from him? He's obviously been out of the ring for quite some time now at this stage. What sort of a challenge are you expecting from him tonight?
Yeah, I'm expecting the best version of him. The one that beat Eubank, I'm expecting that, or the former, the world champion version of Liam Smith. I know he comes from, a family that trains very hard, so they put in serious work and they train very hard like ourselves. But that's the Liam Smith I'm expecting, the best possible version of him, and that's the one I want to show up so it can make me look even better when I do beat him.
He's talked there obviously about where he's been for the fight. He's been out in America, he's been sparring. How has the sparring been? Obviously, you were over in England with a couple of different fighters there during the week.
Yeah, Spar's been perfect. It's been absolutely brilliant. In Las Vegas, a good 5 weeks over there, getting a lot of good spars with Bomac, his fighters, Terrence Crawford's crowd, and the same sparring that he'd actually probably be using for Canelo. That's the sort of sparring I was getting. I was doing a lot of good rounds, and yeah, came back then to the UK and got even some more sparring to really, make sure I'm in top shape for this fight. And I'm ready now. I'm just really ready. I'm really looking forward to fight week and getting there and really just putting in a good performance.
Fight week is going to be something else. I presume it's going to be the grand arrivals, all that sort of stuff, with it being a Ring magazine, Turkey LL Cheek. So there'll be quite a build up for the few days leading up to the fight, won't there, over there?
Yeah, I can imagine it's going to be a really good fight week. It's going to be extra different, from the ones I'm used to, but they're going to make a real big deal of this. They're saying it's going to be the biggest ever UK fight night, of all time. So I think they're going to make a good deal of it, and it's the first ever Ring magazine card. So I'm looking forward to being part of an historic event.
I think I heard there's 130,000 people on a waiting list for tickets or something. Like, the demand for it's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I think the first day or pre-sale there was a massive queue. So I'd say on the night it's going to be special.
Absolutely. And go back to yourself, Steve. You obviously look, you had that big win when I seen you down in Barnsley, the fight of the year contender last year. The disappointing then fight in December. How's everything been with yourself since?
Yeah, everything's been good. Been working hard in the gym. You know, I'm gonna rebuild now into a 160-pound fighter. I'm very big, too big for 154. My last performance wasn't the true Stephen McKenna. You know, I think weight issues and things like that. I didn't perform to my best capabilities. So moving up to 160, you're gonna see the old Stephen. Knockouts, explosiveness. You know, I carry a lot of power, but in that fight, I didn't feel myself. But it was a good fight. I'm always in exciting fights no matter what. Two fight of the year contenders. The last one was crazy. What a fight for boxing, and then the Cutler one, as well. It was a good fight. A fight that was close. I thought I nicked it. But uh, the draw probably the judge with the draw could have been a fair result, but I still thought I'd nicked it. But it's one of them things.
This fight, like, even the fourth round alone was just complete and utter carnage, wasn't it?
Yeah, it lived up to all the expectations. It was a great build up. Uh, I know how to build a good fight up, and I like that style of fighting. That I bring. It's a very fan friendly style. Laws was tough. He knew how to build a fight as well. Uh, so it made him to be a special night in Barnsley. And anytime I fight, I'll always be in exciting fights. I bring the heat. Moving up to 160 pounds now, I'm gonna feel really strong. I'm gonna feel stronger in there. And the Cutler one, I would have liked the rematch in that, but it was offered to him, and they shut it down. His team shut it down. I think he knew he had his night. He got me on a bad night, but I'm moving on to bigger things. I got a lot from the fight. Everyone's asking me when I'm fighting again. Everyone's very excited, and there's not much talk of Cutler himself. You wouldn't even know he's fighting again, and is it next week he's fighting? But he doesn't really know how to build.
Say, just a couple of weeks ago, Boxer put up that post. Do you feel that was a bit disrespectful?
Yeah, definitely. A bit very
I think it's been
disrespectful.
deleted now. I think it has been taken down because I was looking earlier on. I think it has been actually removed.
Yeah. They reached out to me in a full apology. They didn't mean to come across that way, but I thought it was very disrespectful to a fighter that's two fight of the year contenders. And in a very, very close fight where I still think, I won the knockdowns. It was hard, It's always hard, me come from Ireland fighting on away soil, going over to Cutler's backyard, I'm the away fighter, fighting on away soil. So, it's always going to be tough. So that's why when I go into fight, I always go in for the knockout. I don't like to leave it in anyone's hands, but one of them things, you just move on. I'm gonna be in exciting fights, and that's for sure.
You look to be having an interesting conversation with Mr. Dana White there a couple of weeks ago as well.
Yeah, we a good chat, so it was good. It was good to get talking though.
I think people sort of might have jumped at that saying, "Is he going to the UFC?" Right, and obviously that's not happening. But I mean, it was. What were you saying to him?
Oh, you never know. I could hop into the octagon. I've that martial arts background. My dad in the martial arts, so you never know with me. Whatever I do, it'll be exciting. So no, it was just a chat with him, briefly. So, but no matter what I do next, it's going to be exciting. No matter what, I can go straight into a big fight right now. There'll be plenty of options for me. I'm an exciting fighter, 15-1, 14 KOs, so there'll be plenty of opportunities for me, and I can sell a fight as well. So I'm looking forward to the future.
You mentioned Bomac there. You have a great relationship with him. I remember Stevie talking to you before, and you were saying like they were very impressed with you when you were working with Terrence Crawford that time as well. You have a great relationship with him.
Yeah, we have a very good relationship with Bomac. He's a nice guy, and that time we were sparring Crawford, him and Terrence. We're very complimentary of us, and very, they were happy with the sparring they were getting with us, for that last fight of his, and it's good guys, to be giving you advice and having you there, to help you as well. And I always get great rounds with his guys, and it's great to have that sort of thing when we go over to America.
Yeah. Obviously, as you said, this is a huge opportunity for yourself, Aaron. Obviously, Turkey LL Sheikh is involved. Like a victory here is going to open a hell of a lot of doors for you.
Big time, yeah. And I know I realize how big it can do for my career. And it's a life-changing opportunity, and I just don't want to win, but I want to win in style. I want to really stamp my authority and really let everyone know what I'm all about. I want to become world champion, and I really want to put on a very good performance and let people know what I'm all about. And this is what boxing's all about. This is about putting bums in seats and making people interested in watching you. And that's what I intend to do.
Is there, like you went over to America when you're 16. It's been a long journey up to this point. There's a lot of hard work on in, but like it's a very exciting time now for the pair of you.
Yeah, well, this is what I always envisioned when I was younger. I knew that was one of the main sacrifices I'd have to make to get the best quality training. So decided to go over there when I was only 16, and even from them I was sparring world champions, and I knew back then that I was made for the pro game and my style was more suited to it than the amateurs. But it's one of the sacrifices I made, and now it's going to pay off, and I just have to show it come fight night. And it's no better time to do it in front of a football stadium full of 70,000 people and half the world watching.
For those lads as well, like I know we spoke with this before, but Irish boxing at the moment, professional boxing in Ireland, it's just absolutely booming. Like we that great Paddy Donovan Crocker event a few weeks ago. You've Kakachi out again in a couple of weeks. Katie's obviously out again in the summer. There's a really exciting couple of years ahead, and the pair of you will want to be right at the top of it.
Yeah, we want to headline big cards in Ireland. It's crying out for us. We have a massive support in Monaghan. We have a great fan base overall in Ireland, and we have that fighting style that people want to see. We have that throwback fighting style, that Steve Collins fighting style. Back in the days when the likes of him and Eubank fought. That's what we bring to the table with our fighting styles, and we'll fight anyone. There's no messing around. If a fight offer comes our way, we're taking the opportunity. But it's going to be an exciting couple of years ahead. A win over Liam Smith with Aaron, was massive. It really propels, him into a unbelievable position and headlining cards.
There's no better fans. There's no better fans than the Irish fans, and even for this fight, there's a lot of people traveling over from all over Ireland. Loads of people are going to it, and
people from America coming as well. Yeah, so
a lot coming over from America and even Canada. So just shows when the Irish get behind you, it's massive.
It is like you even seen that with that Callum Walsh card there like a couple of months ago. I think there was 5,000 or something like that at the Tree Arena. Like, do you know what I mean? There's a huge turnout for that, and I think we've obviously been starved. There was a couple of years there where there wasn't really these big shows. Katie sort of brought it back. You're seeing it a bit more now, but like yeah, there's such a huge boxing sport out there. Like, and I think Pierce O'Leary might be back by the sounds of things maybe later on this year for Dublin card as well.
Yeah, it's time for Irish boxing to come back, and what an exciting list of fighters you have ready to jump on the get going. So Katie did phenomenal. Unbelievable what she has done for the sport, and she's a big fight again. So it's all about who's the next one to take over. And I believe me and my brother Aaron are ready to sell out arenas.
I suppose like boxing as well, it is like it's an obsession. It's so consuming. Do you have much hobbies away from it? I know like these are Celtic fans. Monaghan's obviously after winning the Division 2 in the GAA. What do you like to do away from the ring?
We like everything really. We're big Liverpool fans. We always try to get to a game now and then during a bit of downtime, and then at Christmas we like to throw darts. We go to a few tournaments and that, so we're decent enough, in a bit of downtime and that. So we're into all sports really, but we're big Liverpool fans, so it's a good year for the Reds this year.
It's just a matter of time until they wrap up the league as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the Celtic. You have the Celtic tops on and training as well, lads. It's not all Liverpool. These have a soft spot for the Celts as well.
Yeah, been to a few games as well over the last couple of years. So once we get a bit of downtime, we love going out, and going to the games and that.
Finish up, Aaron. What happens on April 26th?
Yeah, I believe I won the fight, and I'm 25 now, 19-0. It's a perfect time, perfect opportunity against a really good fighter, and this is my time now to really show people that what I've been saying all them years is going to come true, and I'm looking forward now to bursting out onto the scene and taking over the middleweight division.
Looking forward to seeing this man, obviously, as well. What are you backing him to do?
Aaron's. This is his moment. This is where people's going to see how good Aaron McKenna really is. Aaron is the best middleweight in the world, and he'll take out any of them, and people are going to see a superstar.